Welcome to Trading Lounge and the Bitcoin report for the 26th of March. Not a lot to report on since yesterday, but let's go over Ethereum, Bitcoin and the crypto index again. And so the reason I'm starting with Ethereum first is because it's just got the better count. It's always had the better count all the way from over this side of the fence over here, where we've got this nice 5-wave structure to the downside here to complete that. So that sort of turned me on to Ethereum rather than the Bitcoin. And also too, there's other moves within all of these structures that are much clearer in Ethereum than Bitcoin. So one of the main ones really is this low here. We've got clearance here, so if we counted this down as 1 and 2 here and 3 and 4 here, then there's no overlap between these two. But on Bitcoin there is an overlap there, so it does raise a flag for that. Also with this count here, it's got a nicer looking wave 4 here than Bitcoin has. So it's quite natural to look at this as 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 here, and then the A wave, the B wave, and 5 waves down here to the 61.8% here. So technically this market and Bitcoin can just go straight up from here. What we do need to be aware of, however, is that can the market go down further with all of this? Because, you know, when we were looking at, I mean, first of all, Bitcoin itself, is this top here has taken out this top here in Bitcoin. So that would create us as a running flat or an expanded flat. So using this chart here, because it's nice and clean and all the waves add up really nicely, what I can say is that if we get a move below this current low here, then we're going to be looking at wave 4 being over here for this, and we'll need to count down further. We'll have to count down as wave 1 here, 2 here, 3 here, 4 here, and then coming down for wave 5 here to finish this off and look at all of this as an A wave, a B wave, and 5 waves here for the C wave here. So let's just sort of understand that a little bit more, shall we? So if we look at this as the third wave coming down through here to here to here, then it leaves the 38.2% retracement there. So that means that the market can go up to that point, right? And then come down and have wave 5 coming down into this space here, be something like this here. So is that going to happen? I don't know. I mean, I really don't know. I've looked at the move coming up from here that can be counted as corrective or impulsive. So I'm not sure about that. But look, in a nutshell, guys, that's where it all is. That's the situation. We knew that we'd get to this point, and there's nothing that we can do within this point here for the time being. Maybe in a session or two, we'll be able to understand this a little bit better. There is this, if I take the crypto index here, and this is a bit of a long shot here, it's possible, because we've got 3 waves in the first move here, and it is possible to look at this as an A and a B and a C here for the B wave. Well, is it possible to look at this as a triangle pattern as well, with the 15,000 in this particular case here being central to the balance line of this particular pattern? Well, yeah, I mean, so we'd look at it as the A wave, the B wave, and then an A and a B and a C wave here for where this is here, and then the D wave and then the E wave here. So that's all possible. That would take us up a little bit higher at that point. So it would take us past that wave 4 on the Ethereum. I mean, this would also look quite close to, if this was wave 1 here and wave 2 here, this would also look close to being wave 1 and wave 2 here as well. So there's not a lot of difference in this one here. If this was correct as wave 1 and 2 here, then that triangle pattern would look the same as well, because we would have wave 1 over here and wave 2 over here for that. So it would look like a triangle pattern as well through here. So we could do the same here as well for this. I mean, we don't know if that's the case. I'm just shooting the breeze here, but you know, it's kind of there as well. So that's possible. But like I said, there won't be much difference, even if this was, you know, an A, B, C here, and then this is a D wave and an E wave. There wouldn't be much difference. The only difference would be that this move up here would be in 3 waves or 5 waves. 5 waves for wave 1 and 3 waves for wave D and then wave E there. So not a big difference, but I just thought I'd mention that. So it kind of just boils down to this. Our next problem puzzle is that what do we have here? Do we have this as an A and a B and a C, and that's the low? Or do we have this as wave 3 here and we come back for wave 4 and then we have one more low coming in here? That's the question. So we can go in and have a look at this in here like we did yesterday. So first of all, because we've got a short trade in here, so looking at it like this, we looked at a short trade here, and yesterday we talked about taking a percentage, or better still, taking profit right on the, you know, right on the low in this, anyway, close to the low here. So I hope you've done that in one way or another. So the question is that what is this move here? Is it going to be an ABC into this pattern here? So looking at this, some sort of A wave, B wave here, or wave 1 and 2 here, by the way, and then wave 1 and 2 sort of, anyway, moving up here further, and then coming back down at that point. That's what I don't know. So what we can also do here as well, if you're not long here and you want to have a bit of patience and wait this out, then all we need to do is look for the classic trading level pattern, which would be the arrival, the reaction, the first high above the level, and then that's our reference point to go long on at that point. So that means we can go long, well, either this top here or this top here for that. So that's the safe trade at this point. If you're not taking profit here or not taking a percentage profit here, then your stop loss would be the same here as well for this. So that would be the stop loss for that second high here, that first one here. That's where the stop would need to go. So we wait for the first high above the level, then we wait for it to move down and back up, and then our stop can go above that high there. And then that way that will take you down into the next level here, which would be the 1500, and you would take profit down there for that. So, yeah. I mean, if you're not doing anything, then it's always nice to leave a little bit of skin in the game, even if it's very small, even if it's, you know, 10 or 20% of that trade or 30% or whatever. We can go into here, into the tick chart, and just have a bit of a look here to see what we can make of this. So, apart from all of that, yesterday we talked about being long on the 1600, so that means this is just high risk stuff. So that's the low there. So let me just check this a little bit closer here. We might have to call that in the low here for this. And that would leave us, if that is the case, either we've got an A wave here, a B wave here, and a C wave here for the A wave, and then a B wave here. That doesn't look, that's 1, 3, 4, 5. That's, Or do we look at that as 1 and 2 as well there? Oh, that's a bit annoying. Anyway, yesterday we talked about over here, this is hindsight a little bit, but I think it's important to talk about. So yesterday I mentioned going long on the 1600, that would be the thing to do here. And we were looking for the first high above the level and then the ABC pattern here so that we can go on the second high here. Okay, so when we scroll across here, we could look at that as a situation here that you could have gone long on, but if that's the case, if you went long here, that means that you need to exit at that point below the level again. And then the next one comes over here, which is a bit more realistic in my view, but it just takes it's very difficult to see it in the first instance. So we've got this first high here, so we could have waited for that and then gone long here at that, which would have put us over here onto that high into there, so you'd be long there, and this would be the other one here as well. So as this is moved down through here, this high here would be relevant, and then moving down into this high, so that would be relevant at that point there as well. So that's the way to move in on that side of the market. But that's all high risk trade, buying off the low here. The main takeaway here is that we've got to figure out if this is is corrective or impulsive. So what I might do is just go over to Bitcoin now, but just so we've had a bit of a look at that, and just come back here to the hourly chart. So with Bitcoin, we can see that from wave 1 here with Ethereum, we've got 5 waves down, which is wave A or wave 1, and then we've got the A, the B, and the C for wave B or wave 2, and then we've got 1 and 2, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or well, 1 and 2 in here, 3, 4, 5 for the third wave, fourth wave, and fifth wave here. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 here for this. And Bitcoin's the same, except that this wave 4 overlaps wave 1 here. So that's what we're going to look at now. So we can look the same as Ethereum, as 1 and 2 here, and 3 here, and A and a B and a C for wave 4, but it does lap over wave 1 here. So, and then down for wave 5. So that would be I would prefer to go that way rather than look at this as wave 1 down here, wave 2 here, and then wave 1 here, and then back for wave 2 here, and then this would make this, this would be the third wave down here for this, and then the fourth wave coming back, and the fifth wave, because that's it. The trouble with that is and then that would become the third wave at that point. The trouble with that, it just plays out it doesn't play in with Ethereum in its move. So that's the problem there in that regard. What we can do is we can just look at the top here to the current low here and look at the 38.2% retracement level, which would be here. And once again, we can put in this wave 4 here for that. And then we go down for wave 5 here. That's the other side of the coin, really. But I've explained all of that with Ethereum, but just to sort of map it out here is important as well. So the only difference here, well, there's two differences. First of all, Ethereum had this as the high and not that as the high, but I'm going with this as the high because that counts better as the 5-wave structure here. Yeah, and it also just ties into Ethereum, which is doing all the right things in terms of the wave structure. So yeah, the only problem with this is this wave 4 overlapping wave 1 here. So you'll have your opinions about that, and that's good, but I'll just give you both cases. It's either technically it's got to be wave 1 and 2 here, or if you're going to be a bit philosophical, well then we can leave it as wave 4. But still, we'll leave both of them there and we'll play it out and we'll see how it goes. This move up through, we can always expect a bounce off these larger levels, you know, the 61.8% it is, and also the 50. So we're going to see that bounce there. Let's just see, you know, we'll have a closer look at it, but it kind of feels a little bit corrective here in this way, but that's where it come to the 54,300. So that's the top of group 1, roughly. So that's what we've got to see. We've got to see if we get this 5th wave down through here. But the other problem with this too, if I just go back to, say, the 4-hour chart here for a moment, and this is the bigger picture here for this. So the fact that it, well, let me just explain something here a bit. So we could have a triangle pattern, as I've mentioned before, but I won't go there just yet. But the corrections are, the market moves up. This is the top of wave 3 over here for that. This top of wave 3 here. So the move down here, we've had this in 3 waves, right? So in terms of the expanded flat, an expanded flat would take out the top here, and it would do it in 3 waves. So it will just sort of mirror that there. And then we would have 5 waves down here. I know we've talked about this before and it's probably a little bit boring, and taking the bottom out here, that would be the expanded flat. The regular flat, the normal flat, that would just stay within these highs and lows here for this. But the running flat, which is quite rare, and it's what we might have here for this, is the same thing as well. So up for wave 3, then we have 3 waves back here. And then we take out the top here, take out the top, and then we have 5 waves down here that don't take out the low here. They do something like this. So it's basically still just sort of running to the upside, you know. So that's what we could have here for this. I mean, there's a good case for this. This is quite rare, really, this one, but there's a good case for it because everybody wants to buy Bitcoin, you know. Sovereigns are just starting to look at it. The French government are just starting to look at it. So, you know, it's gonna, so there's a good case. But I think that, as I mentioned before all this started, there was 2 things. We were either going to be going to the 50,000 and going straight up, or we're going to be working our way down to the 40,000. Now, we've just arrived here at the 50,000. So my normal thing is that, well, we need to gather evidence here. So we need to figure out what this is here for this. We also understand too that we know that 54,300 is the 38.2% retracement level here. So if the market finds that as support, well, then we have to go long from that point. So the arrival, the reaction, the first high above the level, the ABC pattern here, and then we'll need to be long at that point. So I've got 10K to go into this market. So, you know, I'm in the same boat as many others. So I'm thinking to myself, well, what should I do? Should I just buy here? You know, or, well, we're going to come down here further. Do you know what I mean? So it's a little bit tricky. So I just decided this morning that if this 54.3 becomes the tested support, then I need to buy my $10,000 worth here. If it fails at that and moves, you know, starts to move down here again, starts to move down here, well, then I'll just chill out and you know, look for it further down, as simple as that. So that's what I'm going to do with my next position, because what I've done here, as you may know, I mean, I've been all these little blue dots here of where I've been buying all through here, and I didn't buy in this trend here. I bought extra down here, and then I was just waiting for it to pull, well, kind of hoping that it would pull back a little bit, hoping that I was on the right track, you know. So I'm getting closer to that now. So, but I wouldn't want to miss the bus. So I would have to buy on 54.3 as a classic trading levels pattern as tested support. Otherwise, I'll just wait for it to roll over, and we'll pick up the pieces down here and figure it out at that point. Okay, I'll leave it at that. Yeah, that's about the best I can do, guys, really. So we're still looking either at this, or we're looking at the 1 hour chart here with Bitcoin, looking at this with Ethereum as wave 1 up here, an A wave, a B wave, and a C wave right on that low there, and that's the end of it. It fits nicely with Ethereum, but not so much with Bitcoin. We just got to wait to see what this bounce is here, you know, like a ball bouncing on the ground. The first bounce that comes down is normally the highest, and then they'll get lower after that, and then they'll drop through here. So that's kind of, when it comes back down, it'll be the first bounce is higher. I mean, I'm exaggerating here, but, you know, and then we get locked under here and we go down from that point. So I'll just leave it at that, I think, and if I see a clear vision on this, we'll put out a video on Saturday, because obviously the market's trading all through the weekend, which gives us something else to do. Okay, alrighty, enjoy the weekend. Cheers.